David Bailey, a great crowd on hand in smoggy, hot, dusty conditions near San Bernardino.
That's true. It doesn't get much worse. Basically, all the junk in L.A. blows out here to Glen Helen and just hangs. Everyone feels like they're going to suffocate.
Even though this is the first national to be run at Glen Helen Raceway, these riders have been here before, David.
That's true. Most of the manufacturers have a test track near here. Some of the guys test on this racetrack, and they're pretty comfortable with it. Even in the case of Kevin Windham, he's from back east, but he still has a place near here, so he's comfortable.
Leading off the 125s, Steve Lampson. What a great start on the season, winning 3 of the 4 motos.
That's right. He's been the dominant guy so far, the one everyone's shooting for, proving why he's got the #1 plate. But in addition to the Wyndhams, John Dowd and Ezra Lutz, who've contested this class before, there's a lot of new guys coming up. And out of that pack, Casey Johnson's really starting to emerge and shine, and a good run last week at Sacramento, and sits 4th in the points.
Lampson, of course, topping the Suzuki points list. Pashone, Dowd, Dobb, Casey Johnson in the top 5. And, David, it looks like they've really changed this track. They've tried to make it different from years past.
They definitely have. They've taken out a lot of the Supercross element that existed here before, really utilized the elevation here, and it's a fast, dusty, choppy track.
Let's take a look at the Suzuki track map.
One of the biggest changes is the starting line, a cement starting grid the riders will have to negotiate before they get out onto a completely new designed racetrack. A lot of elevation. Over to the top left of your screen, they climb 4 stories. What goes up must come down.
125 riders getting ready. Mikel Pashone. You see a camel back there for drinking water. A lot of cross-country and hare scrambles riders use those items.
Yeah, there you get a look at how those riders try to clean off that starting pad. Some of the guys burn out on that to try to get it hot, hook up better.
Let's go to Marty Reed.
Nice view, isn't it? Well, this is 75 feet atop Animals Leap, at least the top portion if we were here for the Chevrolet Off-Road Winter Series. If you've been watching the series on ESPN2, you know exactly what we're talking about. 75 feet straight down. But if you think those guys are manly men, well, today, in this motocross, that is what they're coming down from now. That's another 100 feet from where we are. And just to throw in a little excitement, of course, they've got that little kick, which means they land way down there. And I'm glad I'm not doing it.
Marty has a good way of putting things, doesn't he? There's Mikel Pashone, his father helping out as one of his mechanics. Number 7, John Dowd, hoping for a good race today, David Bailey.
Well, he impressed me last week in Hangtown. He's a strong rider. He has a good finish, and he's one of the better conditioned athletes out there. And as hot as it is today, I would expect him to shine. Getting
ready for moto number 1, Dobb on the left of your screen. Robbie Raynard back in the action. Casey Johnson, 58. There's Dowd, Pedro Gonzalez, Pashone, Lampson, the defending champion, and Brian Deegan, number 25. And the gate is dropped. Lampson with a good start, but look at Robbie Raynard, number 14, who's back in the game after a broken neck in the Supercross season. Raynard has the lead. Windham in good position in 3rd.
Now, some of these younger guys get good starts off the cement. Remember Ponca City, this is where a lot of the amateurs come up. Kevin Windham as well had a lot of experience on there, but it sure paid off for Raynard.
Raynard working his way back into shape. He sure got a great start this time as he's out in front, number 73, in the new Honda of Troy colors. Blue is Willow in 2nd place.
They switched everything over. They figured it's hot enough. Why wear red and make it worse?
Ezra Lutz, you saw back in the pack now as Raynard is establishing a good lead here on lap number 1.
You can see they put some water on the racetrack. Guys starting to splash through those puddles. And I noticed as we went down the starting line, John Dowd had roll-off. I think he anticipated getting sprayed a little bit. Raynard's clean. Everyone else is getting dirty. There's the rider going down in that slick stuff.
Steve Lampson, the defending champion who's won 3 of the 4 motos so far this year, is going to be way behind. Look at all the riders passing him.
That's the worst time of the race to fall in the opening lap. Everybody goes by and you got to come from last. It doesn't look like he's going to have to battle any dust. He's done a good job to put water on the racetrack, but his vision will be a problem at the end.
Speaking about dust on the other side of the track, look at this.
Well, you go from getting covered and spray with a little that watery stuff, and then you go through a big powder burn behind some guy, and it just sticks to you. It gets all inside your jersey, and it's not a good feeling, I can tell you that.
Raynard out in front, and on the Suzuki in 2nd place, as Raynard starts to pull a lead on him, is James Dobb, the Englishman. Dobb, of course, taking over for Craig Decker on his bike, but is a privateer here in the outdoor season now. He just had that one bike for the Supercross season. Then Quicksilver came to help out for James Dobb in 2nd place behind Raynard. But you can see here, Raynard is really putting it on.
I like the way he looks right now. He's doing everything right, not making any mistakes. Looks fairly aggressive, too. You got to remember, when these guys ride practice, before they get out there for the first moto, the weather changes the track quite a bit. A lot of other riders have been out there beating it up. All the lines are gone, plus they put water on it, and he seems to be in the flow right now and pulling away already.
Raynard was into the middle of his rehab from the injured neck when Gainesville took place. That was one of his very favorite tracks. He's won there before. Then at Hangtown, he had a 13th and a 10th in the 2 motos. He just wasn't up to speed yet.
Now, he's had a real tough time with consistency. Now you can see just as Kevin Windham went by your screen there, he's moved into the number 3 spot. He's been pretty fast, but he missed the opening round. So if he wants a shot at the title, he's going to have to get it on in a hurry right now with Lamson in the back of the pack.
Raynard number 14, Dobb number 19, starting to get some pressure now from Kevin Windham. You can't see the number, but it's 38. There you can, the side plate, as Kevin Windham now has moved into a definite contending spot. He, of course, was injured with a broken collarbone the first race of the season at Gatorback, but came back with a 10th and a 3rd at motos in Hangtown. Raynard, Dobb, Windham. Dowd has moved into 4th, Willow slipping to 5th. AMA Motocross on ESPN2 is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and ATVs. Get to your dealer now for the lowest deals of the year.
A decade ago, Suzuki unleashed the original GSXR. It created a new category of motorcycle. Win after win, time after time. We never stopped refining. And now the time has come again. The all-new GSXR 750 is finally here. Because something this fast can't be rushed.
It's over here in a jar. It's over there in the car, in a drawer, on the floor. So where's your loose change? Well, it's time to cash in with Easy Money, the amazing coin machine that sorts, stacks, counts, and loads coin wrappers in just seconds. Just turn it on, then drop in a handful of loose change and watch. The wheel spins and separates each coin. Then they're launched down the tube where they're sorted. Each coin drops into its own removable tube where it's stacked and counted. And when you place a coin wrapper in the bank, it's automatically filled with the correct amount of coins. When it's done, they pop out in their neat stacks. You're left with wrapped piles of money. And with the handy AC adapter jack, you'll never need to buy batteries again. So what are you waiting for? It's Easy Money, and it's only $19.95. It'll pay for itself the very first time you fill it up. Easy Money, it makes perfect sense.
Order Easy Money today at 1-800-654-0110. It makes perfect sense. Call 1-800-654-0110.
It's over 8 feet long, and most of it's chrome. 6 cylinders, 6 carburetors, 1,520 cc's. It's the biggest motor you can get on 2 wheels. And it's made right here in America. You can't wait. Valkyrie from Honda. It's here.
Welcome back to round 3 of the AMA National Outdoor Motocross Series. And you see there, when we were away, Kevin Windham has moved by James Dobb into 2nd place.
This looks pretty good for Yamaha right now. They got Windham challenging for the lead, and Dowd is also up there. Plus, Lamson still buried in the pack after that first lap crash.
John Dowd whistling through our screen right there. Really only one bad moto in the season. That was the first of the year when he hit a downed rider and then went down a little later. He ended up 34th in that one, but has come back real strong. Raynard, Windham, and there's Dobb, the top 3 right now in moto number 1 of the 125s from Glen Helen. There's Dowd and Pichon right behind him.
So this is a pretty good battle going on right now. These guys are really pushing each other, but they're 10 seconds down from this battle right here for the lead. You don't really need a stopwatch to see how far Windham's behind the leader, but you do need one to get back to that battle for 4th.
Dobb with a couple of good motos this year. He had a 6th place finish in Gainesville in moto number 1 and a 6th place in Hangtown as well.
This battle of 3 guys right here, really, as I've mentioned already, starting to pick up the pace. I'll bet you Dobb can start to feel him coming, and Pichon, he's in kind of an interesting line back there, trying to cut up on the side of the hill and miss those bumps. He's taking every precaution he can to try to go the distance. He's got that Camelback for extra water, starting to pick smooth lines, anticipating the end of the race, maybe be able to have a little more strength than everyone else.
Robbie Raynard soon, it looks like, will have some pressure at hand as Windham now picking up the speed as they go up the hill.
And looking back behind these guys, they've got a pretty good lead, so I think that unless Wyndham is just a lot faster, which I don't see at the moment, he'll be pretty patient in getting around Robbie Raynard right now. Until that battle behind them, it looks like they start to gain. If they do, he'll be pretty content to hang here and not take any major chances.
Robbie Raynard still riding very aggressive, but he's losing time to Wyndham.
Well, Wyndham's been on fire, and he's had a lot more opportunity to get out and race than Raynard has after that neck injury. So for Raynard, I mean, this is a good run so far, and his dad put on the board right there. Have fun. You don't have to win this thing. He's way ahead of third place, so if he drops a second, that wouldn't be too bad.
Wyndham to the inside. Looked like a dirt track race right there, but Robbie Raynard holding on.
Well, Raynard had the better line on the outside. He's able to use that cushion, and with Wyndham cutting up the inside, he's lucky to keep it on two wheels. That square in that corner like that really becomes an off camber. It's a lot harder packed in there, so very slick.
Wyndham really looking for a good finish here, and in midair kind of changes his line against Robbie Raynard to go to the outside on that turn.
Nice move. He's just trying to do everything he can not to fall. You hear how much the crowd gets into it. If he was just to take the same line, I don't think Raynard would feel threatened, and the crowd wouldn't see that much of a race, really. But when you see a guy taking different lines and trying like that, you know it's just a matter of time. The crowd's into it. Raynard can feel that pressure, and it wouldn't surprise me if Wyndham got around him real quick now. That
was really our only Supercross section left on this track, as Robbie Raynard feels the heat now of Kevin Wyndham. And you mentioned the crowd. What a great crowd. It was a massive traffic jam before this race got underway.
They're getting their money's worth right now. Wyndham is all over Raynard.
Kevin Wyndham, super in those whoops. He's got the edge on Raynard. Comes over the hill. Can Robbie make it back? Oh, he cut to the inside and the outside, and Raynard now in second place. Kevin Wyndham has taken over first place again.
Here's another look back through that whoop section. Wyndham takes over the lead. A little bit better line around the outside. But watch what Raynard does. Smart. He keeps that bike nice and low, drives off the backside of that jump into the corner, gets him back briefly, but Wyndham had it all covered. So now he's starting to pull away a little bit, as you can see.
Robbie Raynard in second place gave it a good battle as he got the whole shot, but Kevin Wyndham now has taken over the lead, and what a thrill for this guy who got a late start on the season because of the broken collarbone. But he says, you know, Steve Lamson did it last year, losing virtually 3 motos, 2 to injury and 1 to a mechanical at the beginning of the year, and he came back and won it in the last moto of the season.
Well, that's got to give him hope. I know he wants to win this title, and actually he's not as far down to begin with as Lamson was last year. There's a lot more competition out there too, so if he can keep putting together rides like this with Lamson in the pack, he'll be able to catch up quick.
Dicing for third now. Pichon goes through the picture first. Michael Craig, number 17.
He's starting to come on strong, and he's copying all the lines of Pichon. Look at Pichon going wide. Able to jump the double jump coming out of the corner, able to jump all the way over that plateau. A lot different than the lines of Kevin Wyndham we've got front right now, and I wonder if they're catching up to him.
This is Craig's first outdoor of the year. Pichon took an overall 5th in the first event at Gatorback and in a 3rd in Sacramento at Hangtown. But Craig is starting to put the pressure now on the young Mikel Pichon out of Le Mans, France. Pichon winning the first moto of the year at Gatorback and then slipped to 12th place in the second. Here's Michael Craig making the pass over the jump.
Craig came out of that corner, had a good run into that whoop section, and just went right by Pichon like he was standing still. So he's perhaps learned enough from Pichon. Now he knows how to hold him off, and I think these guys are gaining on the leaders right now.
No one has ever questioned Pichon's technique. It's beautiful. We've seen it in Supercross as well. But what about his endurance, David?
Well, I think that's where the problem is. As Raynard goes by, he's still running down second. He's not lost that much time to Wyndham, but Pichon, I mean, I think that he's trying to take smooth lines, and that can really hurt you, I think, in the long run. When you try to take smooth lines, not the fastest lines, that's a symbol right there that you don't have the confidence in your conditioning.
A testimony of Jeremy McGrath a couple of years ago when he made the conversion to do better at outdoors. He said, that's what I was doing. I wasn't taking my own line. I had to blast through to be successful.
Right, you have to have the training to do it. Now he's in good enough shape.
Kevin Wyndham, our leader in moto number 1 for the 125s with Raynard, Craig, Pichon, and Johnson the order.
Ladies and gentlemen, for 7-2 Rhode Island Day, see the mighty union of 5,000 international athletes extreme. And remember, let's not the big, strong you hear beating.
The X Games, coming soon.
Welcome back to Glen Helen Raceway as Motocross returns to Southern California. Mike Gosler, Steve Lampson's mechanic, looking rather concerned right now. His man went down in the first lap, and right here he's getting passed. It's Rusty Holland, number 71, passing Steve Lampson. Lampson having his problems in 14th, but he's looking down to the back tire. It's a flat tire, probably.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's losing time right now. He already had enough problems having to come from about 25th in that first lap crash, so he'll be way off the pace now.
Here's Michael Craig in second place. Oh, Craig goes off the track, hits the hay bale, came down wrong and cased it.
There's another look. It looks like he squared that berm. He just got way off line. You can see he was aiming right for the hay bale. Nothing he could do about it. He goes flying into the crowd.
And Robbie Raynard goes back into second place behind Kevin Windham. Number 14, Raynard. What a race for him.
Now Casey Johnson's starting to catch up, and here's that battle still. James Dobb getting chased by John Dowd, and Scott Sheik is up in there now. Good run for him.
Number 34, Ezra Lust, right at the back of this pack, putting the heat on right now. We're going to have a great battle for fourth place.
It's an excellent class. There's so much talent packed in it, and everyone's pretty equal. You got Wyndham out front right now doing the McGrath thing, but behind him is a fantastic battle. Sheik with a better line than Dobb. Dobb looking back. I don't know if he's got a problem too, but
well, Sheik started off the year, you might remember, David, with 2 third places, a second overall at Gatorback, and he's trying to recover, though, from a very harsh hangtown.
Well, this should be, yeah, I mean, he's got to redeem himself a little bit after last week, but he was talking about having a trainer and working really hard. He's got a place out here now, starting to ride out here in California, a little more used to these conditions, and it looks like it right now.
Ezra Lust does not like being the caboose of these 4 guys. He's really trying to step up the pace. Scott Sheik, Dobb number 19. Then you got Dowd, and there's Ezra Lust number 34.
You can see the difference of lines on this track, the far inside, the far outside. If you catch somebody, you're not held up by a one-line racetrack at all. Lust has apparently caught these guys, and he should be able to get around.
The double Ds, Dobb and Dowd right in front of Ezra Lusk as Scott Sheik is out front. Whoa, he's off the track. He's still up on the bike, but he had to go off the track in that section. Here's Robbie Raynard. Raynard's getting some pressure now from Casey Johnson as we take another look.
You saw Sheik, well, his back end is swapped way out to the left, aimed him right off the track. He did stay on the bike, but he's going to have to circle back around and go over that jump again. He'll lose touch with that battle.
Robbie Raynard getting pressured by number 58, Casey Johnson. We've brought up his name quite a bit this year. Casey Johnson, spots of brilliance in Supercross, really maturing well.
And he's very young still. He's got a bright future. He's on that Mitch Payton Pro Circuit team. Mitch has done well to bring up guys like McGrath and Pichon.
Number 58 gets the momentum. Here's bar to bar. Now in the Dust Bowl over there, Casey Johnson moves in front of Robbie Raynard.
That was good thinking on Casey Johnson's part. He set that up going up the hill into that section, carried the speed all out wide and switching back to the inside. And nothing Raynard could do about it. Now he can maybe get him back, though, if he's clever and stays aggressive.
Raynard going to the inside, couldn't take the speed on that corner that Johnson did a little bit further out. Johnson staying to the outside of a lot of those turns now that he's made his pass on Robbie Raynard.
Now, just looking at the way Raynard got up that hill, that's 2 corners in a row now where he's been flat tracking it. I don't know if it's he just doesn't have the right body positioning to hook up good, but it seems like he's sliding around quite a bit right now, Arn.
Not only is he sliding a lot, but we just went by a rock pile, didn't we?
There's a lot of shale out there, and I have a feeling that's what happened to Lampson's tire. Anytime you get a lot of rocks in the racetrack, you can expect flat tires.
Our Marty Reed is with Robert Raynard, the mechanic and dad of Robbie.
Robert, he started off real well. He's faded just a little bit, but still, you got to be happy after all the riding time he's missed.
I'm real happy right now. He's been fighting a rear flat tire from the 3rd lap, so I got to get back out here. Sorry, can't talk more.
That's okay. So the action is fast and furious, something that we didn't even notice as he went flying by here. He has got a flat rear tire.
That's really amazing, David, that he's kept up there as long as he has. If it's been since about the 3rd lap, it's ready to go off the rim by now, the way he's racing.
Well, now you can see he's really starting to lose time to Lusk, and looks like John Dowd back there. And I'm pretty impressed. You know, I've ridden with a flat. He's lucky it's a rear flat, so is Lampson. A front flat's almost impossible. You just lose the front wheel every corner. Lusk coming to the inside of him. Robbie's doing a good job to hang on to it. You can't even tell he's got a flat, really.
Fooled us.
Yeah. I was looking for it. I saw him sliding around. I was looking at the rear tire, and it didn't look flat. But his dad has confirmed it for us. That's impressive. He can ride like that, not lose much time.
And have a fast rider like Ezra Lusk having trouble really laboring to get by him.
Yeah.
Ezra Lusk goes to the outside. John Dowd is right behind Ezra. And look for the two really to pass on this lap, as Ezra's already gotten the inside move on Robbie Raynard, and Raynard right there just not going to get the traction. You know, a lot of novices out there are going to say, David Bailey, how can you ride on a flat tire?
Determination. I've done it before. You see, right there, he gets all the way over that plateau. So he's doing things right. He's picking good lines, maintaining his momentum, and, you know, it's just the way it goes. You got to try your hardest and just get the points you can get.
Robbie Raynard just hanging on for points, hoping that doesn't come off the rim right now. And we've got word now that Marty Reed's moving over toward the Mikel Pichon pits.
Mikel Pichon comes in. He's got a flat tire, and they're going to lose a lot of track position. It is the rear, and it's going to have to come off and get changed. Pichon looks to be okay. He's asking for more water. Pichon looking for more water right now. Doesn't seem to be able to find any. So Pichon, who has been complaining about the heat and asthma-like conditions, just dumps the water over the back of his neck. His water bottle, or the water pack around his neck, is already empty. So you can tell how hot it is, and they're getting the new tire on. He should be back out here, but it's going to cost him an awful lot in the first moto.
You see Roy Turner there, Team Kawasaki team manager, as well as Chad Watts, Mikel's mechanic. How fast can they change a rear tire? It takes quite a while.
Oh, I think it would have to take them probably 2 or 3 minutes, almost a full lap. It's not like NASCAR or car racing where they can just put up on the jack, do it quick. They got spacers. They got to line up the chain. They can't touch that disc if it's hot.
Okay, John Dowd making the late race surge, number 7 now. And Ezra Lusk going bar to bar, wheel to wheel right now. John always tough toward the end of a moto.
Well, he's tough. Yeah, he got around Lusk, but again, you see all the different lines out there. Lusk taking advantage of that, ran it in on Dowd, but Dowd just won't crack.
John Dowd moving into third on that pass of Ezra Lusk now. Has Casey Johnson in front of him. Wyndham with a big lead here in Moto 1 of the 125s from Glen Helen. Ezra Lusk trying to catch back up to John Dowd. Dowd, though, with a good strong line. Look out! He's out of order. Ezra Lusk goes spinning in the air.
Can't really tell what happened. Looked like he just got sideways and hit a bad little kicker on that jump.
Boy, it looked like it wrenched his neck. I hope he's okay. Ezra Lusk from Bainbridge, Georgia, and John Dowd now clearly into third. So we have well-defined positions until Dowd might be able to catch up to Casey Johnson.
Oh, there's a little bit of time left.
Wyndham, Johnson, Dowd, Raynard, and Ferry in the top 5. And we'll be back with more. The run to the checkers in a moment. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Marty Reed, and John Dowd really likes to take advantage of commercial time, doesn't he? We come back, and he's right on the heels now of Casey Johnson as time in this race is starting to run thin. Here's the final lap, a heel clicker. Oh, and that downhill double. Kevin Wyndham, can't you believe that?
Actually, nothing he does that surprises me really anymore. That's a scary place to do it, but he's obviously riding with a lot of confidence, very relaxed. Right now, Casey Johnson's got a lot of pressure.
You betcha him. Dowd with a real quick turn goes into second place on Casey Johnson. Johnson, though, all he has to do is stay upright to make the podium or third place finish here in Moto number 1. John Dowd with a tremendous late race surge. A heel clicker by the leader again in that Supercross section, entertaining the fans. Incidentally, Ezra Lusk is back up and running. He was okay after that crash. It's been a big story of flat tires here today, David Bailey, as we see John Dowd being chased by Casey Johnson, but time running out.
Well, still a good run for Johnson. I'm really impressed with Dowd, though. He had actually gone down earlier, dropped as far back as 7th, I think, maybe 8th. Catching all the way back up, and Yamaha's got to be beside themselves right now. 1-2 in this first moto.
My goodness, what a run for Kevin Wyndham as he has a shot still at the 125 West Supercross crown. What a shot in the arm for the entire Yamaha crew, all the mechanics, the front office people. The checkered flag for Kevin Wyndham, his very first national outdoor victory. Wyndham, Dowd, Casey Johnson, Tim Ferry after a bad start goes all the way up to 4th. Dobb, Lamson, Willow, Ashkenazi at 8th, Pedersen, and Skaggs the top 10. Let's go down to Marty Reed now, who, well, Kevin Wyndham could be dehydrated by now.
Well, we're down here with Kevin Wyndham, and I've got to tell you, you look like you're about spent.
Yeah, I am. I think not so much spin. I just got some dirt in my mouth the first lap, and off of Robbie's back tire, and I had trouble swallowing the whole time. Well,
Ali told us that you weren't wearing a water belt, so you had no way of rinsing your mouth.
Yeah, that was a pretty good factor there. You know, I couldn't breathe. I kind of started to gag, actually, so we'll have to do something about it or just keep my mouth shut, one of the two. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, you pulled away from everybody.
Yeah, I felt really strong. You know, I pulled a big lead and then just started cruising. You know, I seemed to have a big lead, and sat back and watched the race behind me. John rode good back there.
So would it be a good guess that we might see you with a water belt here in the second moto?
We'll see.
Okay. Kevin Windham, your winner.
Catch him right after a race is difficult to get a smile, but we got one from him. What about our third place finisher?
Casey, tough way to end it there. Looked like you had second. Great ride, though.
Yeah, I was pushing real hard. I knew John was coming. He's extremely strong late in the motos. And I felt like I had a little bit of energy the last 2 laps to just push as hard as I can. But, you know, he's a great rider. My hat's off to him. I did the best I can. I came out third. I'm real happy with that.
I have a feeling, David Bailey, that he won't be happy too long with a third-place finish, the way that guy's riding right now. We'll be back with the second moto on the afternoon of the 125s. Welcome back to Glen Helen. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Marty Reed as they start cleaning off the slab for the start of the second moto. You know, quite an accomplishment for this young man, Steve Lamson. We saw him crash in the first turn of Moto 1, saw him with a flat tire. He still picked up 6th place point.
That's amazing. I mean, just to work your way up and get 6th without a flat tire would be a pretty amazing accomplishment out here with the kind of competition they have. But you see right there, break out the bleach. Wyndham's doing the burnouts. They should come out there and I'd lay down some 3M glue or something, see what I could do to get all the traction I could get. I think that might be Casey Johnson right there.
You guessed it, number 58.
Putting some electrical tape. That's weird tape to be using for blisters like that, but hey, whatever it takes.
Especially in the heat, it'd melt right through your hand, wouldn't it? Okay, we're getting set for the start of Moto number 2 for the 125s in Southern California. The gate to drop at any moment now, and oh, look at number 73. He got a good jump. Lamson is right there, though. But the guy out in front, heading for the corner, as Windham gets the whole shot. Chad Pedersen in good position. There goes Pedro Gonzalez flying through the air. Also, Ferry, number 12. Pichon getting hung up in that crash. Ferry just getting up off the ground, isn't on his bike yet, as Kevin Windham, the hole shooter, now takes the lead.
Windham, who rode so good in that first moto, said he got a big lead and just cruised. Now he's got the whole shot, so he may be able to really cruise this moto.
Boy, if he could double up here, he'd be catching up fast after missing that entire first race at Gainesville. It's Windham, Willow, and then Chad Pedersen and Dowd in 4th. Lamson not far back in 6th, though.
Lamson with a pretty good start, and knowing that he came from as far off the pace as he did after going down with the flat tires we already pointed out, getting 6th. Well, he can move through the pack quick here, but he's going to have to because Windham is on the gas.
Michael Brandis fans also can take heed that he got caught up in that crash there in the first turn, as we get word that he got up pretty slow, too. Here's Windham. Windham kind of pounding the top of the crown of that hill.
Well, he had a good line coming into the corner, squared it, got it right into that berm, but he hit a little kicker at the exit of it. Did a good job to save it. He just did a nice little swap there. I don't think that much of a little swap's going to concern him. Heading into that section now where Lusk went down. See how dusty it is now. It's going to be hard for the guys that got bad starts to see through there.
Windham just looking flawless right now. And he's starting to pull the lead on the rest of the riders. Willow, number 73, still in 2nd. Pedersen in 3rd. Dowd, Lamson now has moved into 4th with Robbie Raynard in 5th.
Windham right now is going to be looking over his shoulder, and he'll see Willow and Chad Pedersen. Good to see Pedersen back up there after that problem early in the Supercross series.
You know, it's great to see him smiling again. In Minnesota, he crashed and cracked a screw that was holding a plate steady from a prior mishap. He had a cast on it, missed all but 2 of the 125 Supercross races, so he is really happy to get back on the machine. He's giving good pressure to Jeff Willow, who had several good starts during the Supercross season.
Right, and you see that Windham came out of that corner at the top and just left a skid mark all the way down that hill on the gas, starting to pull away from these guys. And as I was about to point out, I don't think he'll be that threatened by either one of these. Pedersen now moving into 2nd, riding good, but I don't think that he's really a threat for Windham, the way Windham rode the first moto especially. And he'll look over his shoulder, see Dowd back there. That's the only guy that's really got in contention. Right, in contention to steal the overall away from him. Lamson can't do it because that's 6th place in the first moto.
Chad Pedersen getting the ride with the Split Fire Pro Circuit after becoming privateer or non-factory rider of the year for the entire series last year. Highest in the points of a non-factory rider.
The wind's starting to kick up right now. Problem is, it's a hot wind. It's just making the conditions out here even worse.
Steve Lamson making a good run right now. Jeff Willow. Lamson, number 1 to the inside. He moves into 3rd. Well, he's still got a battle on his hands, though, as Willow comes off that hill in great fashion. He doesn't want to give it up.
No, he had a run on him up the inside, but Willow's been pretty tough. I think Lamson is going to get around him sooner or later. You can see right there, he's not happy to take the same line. He's inside, he's outside, and he's all over Willow. Willow's going to crack anytime.
There you see our leader, Wyndham, who's pulled about a 5-second lead now on Chad Pedersen. Willow, and Lamson has his hands full getting by Willow.
Willow getting a little out of control there, the same as Wyndham did on the first lap. Finally gets that mistake is what really cost him. He lost all that momentum getting up that long uphill, dragging the horsepower out of these 125s. Lamson just had a stronger run out of the corner.
Many of these 125 riders having flat tires in the first moto. What are their options as far as tire work in between motos?
No, there really aren't any. You can do foam, you can use different tubes, 2 tubes and all that, but you're on a 125, you're going to lose too much horsepower because of adding all that weight. Really all you can do is just put on a new tire, new tube, hope you don't pinch it, and keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully take better lines and miss some of those rocks out there.
So Steve Lamson, who had his problems in moto number 1, is trying to make up for it now here early in moto number 2.
Lamson's definitely fast. He may be the fastest guy on the track right now. He knows that the sooner he can get around Pedersen, the better. He can probably get up and catch Wyndham and make a good race out of it.
Our leader, Kevin Wyndham, followed by these 2 young men, Chad Pedersen, number 21, and Steve Lamson. I'm impressed with Pedersen, who hasn't been on the bike that much this year. He's looking back. That doesn't give me a good sign that he's going to hold on to 2nd place, as Lamson trying to cut to the inside and does so with such ease.
Pedersen coming down the hill has left the door wide open. He knew Lamson was there. Maybe because he hasn't been able to ride that much, he just doesn't feel comfortable with the pace and having to ride with all that pressure right now.
Out in front, Kevin Wyndham, followed by Steve Lamson, Pedersen, Dowd, and Willow. We'll be back to Glen Helen in a moment.
Winning a single Supercross is no easy feat. Jeremy McGrath has won 3 Supercross championships in a row. For Honda, that makes 8 straight. Are you up for that?
Welcome back to Glen Helen Raceway. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed. 125 action underway, 2nd moto. Here's the battle for 3rd place right now. Chad Pedersen, just getting past moments ago, has another challenger right on his heels, and that is John Dowd. Incidentally, Kevin Wyndham still out in front with Steve Lamson in 2nd.
And the way Dowd caught up to Chad Pedersen right here, he just, especially as strong as he finished the first moto, I have a feeling he's going to get around him. But even if he does, it'd still be a pretty good ride from Pedersen. He's just trying to inch his way back into the field where he feels like he belongs. And he's a real contender up here, but right now, I can understand why he may be fading just a little.
John Dowd trying to get the right angle on Chad Pedersen.
There's that downhill where Lutz went down the first moto. These guys are starting to change their line a little bit, run more on the left side of the track.
Down to the inside on Pedersen. John Dowd. Yes, he moves into 3rd. Dowd's got the strength and the time so far in this moto to catch up with Lamson. That'd be an interesting battle.
And I think it's a real possibility, too. The 2nd moto at Hangtown in our last event, Dowd caught Lamson from pretty far back, challenged him in the last couple laps. He looks like, to me, he's going just as fast as Lamson did. He's already around Pedersen. You can see he's got a little lead already. And there's time left in this moto. He knows that if he can get back up there, he may have a shot at the overall win. So he's pushing hard right now.
I'm glad you brought that memory back, because that was one of the... Whoa! Michael Craig goes down.
Well, that's 2nd time today he's gone down, so he's having a tough day.
I was starting to say I was glad you brought that point up, because that was one of the most exciting moments of the young season was the battle between Steve Lamson and John Dowd. And right now, Lammy's got a battle of his own going as he's caught up with Kevin Windham out front. Oh, my goodness. Kevin Windham with Steve Lamson right on his tail. It's important that Kevin stay upright and smart.
Right. He's got to make good decisions right here. And even if he was to let Lamson by, or not let him by, but get past, he'd still win the overall as long as he can hold off John Dowd. So that may be on his mind, but right now it looks like he's given Lamson all he can handle. This is going to be a great battle.
And that would be his first national outdoor overall in his career. That would put another smile on his face, I'm sure. Lamson really gassing it inside now. Great turn by Steve Lamson. We've got a new leader. Lamson, though, having trouble there in the whoops. Here comes Windham back again. Oh,
great move by Windham. He kept the speed through there, and Lamson actually made a little bobble. That's the section where Lusk went down. That's a real tricky section coming through there. There's a lot of rocks, and it's kind of like a big whoop-de-doo section all the way down through there. And Lamson started swapping and had to back off a little, and that gave Windham the edge he needed.
And here comes Lamson again, right back at Windham, retaking the lead.
That surprises me right there. Windham went into the corner. Here's a look at the first pass. Windham got out there against that wall, started hitting some of those bumps, and Lamson got by on the inside. And he drifted wide out of that wall. Look, he gets sideways right there. Kind of scary there for a moment. He's smart to keep the front end up. And into this corner right here, I don't know what happened to Windham. He just left the door wide open. He had to know Lamson was there, but I think Lamson did surprise him a little bit.
Boy, on that turn, it looked like an ice skater, just shaving ice as he comes in. You put the brake on and then accelerate out of that corner.
Well, sometimes you make a pass like that, and you surprise yourself at how fast you're able to enter the corner and still make it. And you think, why don't I do that every lap?
Our Marty Reed's in the mechanics area right now.
Allie, by my calculations, he only has to finish second to win the overall. Is that what he's doing, just pacing, or are you getting a battle?
No, we're getting a battle. Lammy's riding good, and he's just got to push it. We definitely need the points.
So you want him to win?
Yeah, we want to win. But right now, Lammy's going a little faster, and we've got to find him. He's got some good lines somewhere.
Okay, guys, it tells you they are not holding back. They're going for the win.
My guess is, David Bailey, that they're not going to do anything foolish, though.
No, he'll make good decisions, as we pointed out already. Look at that line. That nice line. He cut between both those ruts, was able to get over that double jump. Allie just pointed out the fact that Lamson maybe had some better lines out there in the racetrack, and already Windham's starting to pick up on some of those. And no, I think it'd be a big boost if he could stay close to Lamson. Even if he loses, but he still picks up the overall win. If he stays close, that'll let Lamson know that he's there. He'll be a threat in the future. But if he just pulls away right now, Lamson won't be worried at all.
John Dowd starting to pull away from fourth place. Chad Pedersen and Robbie Raynard, though, now with a good tire, he's putting the heat on Chad Pedersen.
Raynard running down the left side of that downhill, carrying more speed into the corner. He'll have the outside right here, but that'll put him on the inside in the next corner. So excellent move. He's going to make that pass. Pedersen keeps running the outside. First Lamson got around him on the inside, then Dowd got around him on the inside, and now Raynard. So this is one by one losing positions. The guys passing him on the inside.
Patterson being the whipping boy, moving down to fifth right now. But you know, actually, if he should finish in fifth, that'd be a good run for Chad Pedersen.
Yeah, it sure would. Now it's Buddy Antonez sitting off the side of the racetrack. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's taking his goggles off. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
Robbie Raynard trying to move up after the misfortunes of the first moto. The flat tire, and about the second lap was the word we finally got, and he ran the entire race with that flat tire.
And that had to take a lot of energy out of him, too, to do that. I mean, Raynard, he is battling for the Bad Luck Award with Greg Albertine right now.
Lamson is our leader with Windham and Dowd, second and third. Raynard, Chad Pedersen still holding on to fifth. We'll be back. We are back as the 125s start to wrap up their second moto of the afternoon. You saw Steve Lamson zip by on the Honda. Here's Kevin Windham. If he should hold on to second place, he would get the overall victory after winning the first moto. But Lamson is right there for the points.
Well, this is an important moto for Lamson. You know, finishing sixth, I mean, he has plenty of excuses. You can understand why he had finished that far back. It's actually a great ride, but right now he is just showing everybody why he's got that #1 plate. And I was really thinking it'd be good for Windham to try to stay up there and prove that he's just as good as Lamson and will be in the future. But right now, Lamson, he knows he's the man of this class.
Lammy coming over the Supercross section, actually. How many jumps did they used to have? Quite a few, didn't they?
They had a lot of big plateaus through there. One really long plateau, but they've taken some of that out now.
Where Lampson is obviously making his own breaks, getting some luck back. Buddy Antonez, not so lucky, Marty.
Buddy Antonez has pulled in, and they are working on the opposite side of the bike from where we are. It looks as though he's having problems with the gear shift. He cannot get it to shift gears, so they've got a real serious problem. He's going to go back out and try it.
David, what's it like running in one gear?
Well, it's only happened to me a couple of times. I was stuck in third gear once on a 250, which is about as lucky as you can get. There goes Dowd in third place. Throw the Suzuki stopwatch on, see how far behind Reynard is. About 8 seconds. So he's actually stayed about the same. Pedersen's still right there, too. That's encouraging. And one time in a race in Europe on a 500, I lost fifth gear. And they had a lot of long straightaways, so I was just wound out in all the gears. In between motos, they switched from a 5-speed to a 4-speed. It was in a Trophy to Nations race. And I didn't know what gear to start on the starting line, so I guessed, started in second, got the whole shot, and it all worked out.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah, it is.
Great intelligence.
Well, just luck, I think, really. Nothing to do with intelligence. Just hope it works. There's Pichon now, 36 seconds back from Dowd, who's in third place, way back from the leaders. And what a lousy day for Pichon so far.
In 10th place currently, which is quite a battle when you consider he got hung up in that first turn crash off the start.
Well, a flat tire in the first moto, a first turn crash in the second moto. I mean, what a lousy day. But you still got to push as hard as you can. I mean, the title could come down to today. Passing one or two more guys may make the difference in the end.
Ezra Lusk right out in front of the Frenchman, Mikel Pichon. We had so many flat tires, and it affected many of the leaders in Moto 1. Marty, what about Moto 2?
Well, you can see everybody learned from the first moto. Plenty of tires in the ready position. But believe it or not, we have yet to see one bike come in here for a tire problem. So obviously, everybody changing the compounds, figuring out how to run this racetrack without running flat.
Okay, Marty, thank you very much. There's Jeff Willow, 73, Casey Johnson, 58, and Ezra Lusk, as we've got a 3-bike freight train right now. Looks like it could be a competitive one.
It could be. Actually, the first moto, Lusk was really starting to pour it on until he ended up on his head. No points. He ended up 26, so now he's got a lot of work to do to catch up in this 125 class. Casey Johnson, though, is the one that's on the move, and he looked pretty tired at the end of the first moto, so we'll see if he can last here.
Casey taking a third in that first moto, if you've just joined us. Willow with a quick start in both motos, but fading a little bit. A lot of it's learning how to condition yourself for these kinds of races.
Learning how to eat the right things, drink the right things, come in here well hydrated, and to do the right things between motos. You don't get much time. You got to use it to the best of your advantage. And just to try to get the best results, the least amount of energy is a real fine line. And once you get that combination, you really have a lot of energy to spare.
Ezra Lusk trying to catch up and get in a good position to put a challenge on Casey Johnson. And Ezra looking good against Jeff Willow here. How does he come out of the corner? He cuts it short.
Well, this is that same section where he went down the first moto. And you can bet he remembers that. Look at these guys all bunched up coming into the corner. Lusk with the fastest line.
Lusk to the inside. This is a popular place to pass right here on the uphill grind. Lusk challenging Casey Johnson. Goes wide. Good throttle. Ezra Lusk moving into 6th place.
Well, that took a lot of strength. He just changed his line and midway up that hill, went all the way around the outside wide. Didn't even let off. Look at him. Wide open. In that berm out there, just left it pegged right around the outside of Casey Johnson. He knew even if he pulled up next to him, he'd have the inside into that corner there. He would have made the pass anyway. So now look at all the breathing room he's got now.
Exciting pass for Ezra Lusk.
Casey Johnson starting to look over his shoulder now like, oh, man, how many more guys are back there? I'm getting tired. That's usually a symbol that the guys are wanting that white flag to come out.
Well, if Casey can hold on to 7th place, so that would be good enough for 4th overall for him today. Lampson, Wyndham, and Dowd, our top 3, as we'll be back for the race for the checkers in a moment. Glen Helen Raceway. Time running down now for moto number 2 for the 125s. Our Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed in the mechanics area. Right now we're looking at Casey Johnson, number 58, in 7th place. He was just passed by Ezra Lusk, number 34, and Ezra's just not satisfied with just passing Casey, it looks like, as he's got the throttle pretty well wide open in some areas. Casey having a little bit of problems there, looking a little fatigued.
Yeah, he does look tired. The moto's winding down. He feels like as long as he holds off Willow, that's about all that he can manage, because Lusk came by him with a little bit more aggressiveness. You can see right there he's charging pretty hard. And Casey right there kind of falling into a couple of those holes. He's losing his momentum, and it's not a good feeling. You just want the race to be over with when you start getting tired like that.
Is it like other sports, David, though, when you get tired and get a little lax, you got to look out for injuries or spills?
Yeah, of course. Anytime you get tired, you start to ride a little different. And you start to hit holes that you normally don't hit, and that's when it can sneak up and bite you.
Here's a man, though, on a mission. Steve Lampson, after a 6th place finish, he battled through everything to get a 6th place finish in the first moto, is on his final lap way out in front, saluting the crowd with a little entertaining move.
That's the same jump the first moto where Wyndham did a heel clicker. So if you're looking for who did the best thing for the fans, I think Wyndham's winning that race with a heel clicker off of that.
Oh, look at him clear the big jump, Steve Lampson. Incidentally, Wyndham in this moto is in 2nd position. He's not getting a big threat from anybody right now. That would give him his 1st overall. Lampson, though, is in control here in moto number 2.
Starting to throw it sideways everywhere, wave to the crowd. It's got to feel good, but you know, he's not going to win the overall, and he won't be happy with that. Pitching it sideways again off of this plateau, not far to go to pick up the 2nd moto win.
After last year's incredible string of victories that brought him back into the title chase, the one he finally won by 5 points over Ryan Hughes, he knows that every point counts. For Steve Lampson, a turn away, the checkers. Steve Lampson, his 4th moto win in 6 tries. Lampson winning this moto would put him up 3rd overall. Kevin Wyndham in 2nd place, winning the overall. John Dowd, a hearty performance as well. As for Lusk, Casey Johnson, Willow Pichon, and Ferry rounding out the top 10. Let's go to Marty.
What a difference a good set of tires can help a good rider with, huh?
Yeah, I ran the same tire. I just got flat that first moto, and now I'm on like the 3rd lap. Excuse me. But
now they told, wait a minute, I got to jump in here because they told us that you made a change. They didn't tell us what, but Mike said that he went back to Dunlap and may have made a change.
This moto we did. We made a change on the tube choice, and it worked out really good. We put some different style tubes in there, but ran the same tire compound, and it worked really good. I just got off to a so-so start and just kind of played it cool at first, and just rode my own race.
So, guys, it turned out to be the tube, not the tire, that made the difference. Of course, the rider had a little bit to do with it.
Yeah, that race was good for me. I felt strong. I was pretty upset about the first race, but could have been a lot worse the first race. I mean, a lot worse because a lot of guys pull off and they get a flat, and I kept going and ended up getting a 6, so paid off.
Your winner, Steve Lampson.
Here's a look at the overall order. Kevin Wyndham, of course, looking forward to clinching the Supercross title next week, has taken his 1st overall. Marty?
Well, I'll tell you what, you obviously weren't choking this time, but did you sort of back off at the end because you knew you had the overall? You're 1st, by the way. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, Lemmy was riding a really strong race that time, and you know, I don't know if I could hang with him or not, but it was definitely smarter in my case to lay back and you know, just go ahead and take the overall.
How was it to be able to breathe this race?
Yeah, I didn't get near as much dirt this time. You know, things went pretty smooth for me. You know, I was right there in between Lammy and Dowd, and it was relatively just kind of, you know, just stayed the same the whole race, and it was pretty comfortable for me.
Well, let's see how good a shape you're in. You want to do it again right now?
We'll wait till next weekend.
And I don't blame them, guys.
That's right, Marty. All the pieces beginning to fit together for that young man. Steve Lampson still leading our Suzuki points total with John Dowd next. John Dowd, 2nd overall.
Well, John, I know it's not as the position you wanted, but points are points. Good ride.
Yeah, them guys got away from me a little in the beginning. I think I was just riding a little tight, or, you know, or something, but I had some pretty bad arm pump in the first moto, and it was still lingering around. In the second moto, I couldn't quite hold on, you know, as strong as I would have liked to, but them guys are going good. I mean, we got to give them credit. They were riding fast today.
Dowdy will be there when the bell rings, but this guy with a heel clicker, he's the headliner today, David.
Oh, he's really starting to impress me. Picking up his 1st win, that's going to boost his confidence. He's already moved into a tie for 5th place in the points. And Lampson doesn't surprise me by topping this class, but there's some new kids coming strong.
A great morale victory, too, for Team Yamaha. 1 and 2.